Today, I thought I'd talk to you about the power of trust. Because from what I gather and what I witness, we don't really trust a lot. Not only do we not trust the government, we not trust the doctor, we not trust the pharmaceutical company, we not trust the financial company. We don't trust our spouses, our children, but most importantly, we don't trust ourselves. And so let's look at that. So what I've done is I've defined trust. Trust is a silent force that underlines every meaningful relationship, every act of creation, every spiritual awakening. Without trust, none of those things can happen. It's the invisible thread that holds life together. Without it, love cannot deepen. Teams cannot thrive. The soul cannot rest. Trust is not just about believing others. It's about knowing that life itself can be trusted. Think about this. I'm in my 53rd year of marriage. This December, I'll celebrate 53. The one thing I know that makes my relationship work is I trust my Jean. I trust her. And let me rephrase that. I trust Jean. She's not my Jean. She's an independent expression of God, just as she is. But I trust her. What do I trust her? I trust her to support and grow herself and to support and grow me. That's what our relationship is based on. And that we have an open and honest agreement that we ask for what we want when we want it from the other person, and the other person has the right to say yes and say no. In doing so, we free each other up from having to read each other's minds, so we can trust each other. I don't ever have to worry about what my wife's thinking unless she tells me, and I trust that because that's what we live. You see, most of our pain comes from the absence of trust. When we don't trust ourselves, we second guess every decision. When we don't trust others, we build walls instead of bridges. When we don't trust life, we live in fear and try to control everything. This is really big to understand. If you don't trust someone, you build a wall. And when you build a wall, there's no way that you're going to ever truly connect with them. And when you build walls in your heart, you're actually blocking your own connection to the deepest love within you. Because what you demonstrate with someone else is what you're demonstrating to yourself, because everything is an inside-out job. So why does trust matter? You see, when trust is missing, we doubt ourselves and we seek constant approval. That's something I don't do much anymore. I'm not really interested in getting the approval of others, and people give me compliments all the time, and I accept them gracefully and accept them as such. But the only approval I really feel I need is my own, because I'm the only one who has control over anything I do, and so I have that. I seek Lee's approval. You see, when trust is missing, we build walls instead of bridges. If I trust Lee, then I can trust you to be you. And that's really a big thing to understand. And Dr. John DeMartini, in his Values Workshop, talks about this. You can only trust someone to live up to their highest values. If it's not a high value for them, one of their top 3, 4 values, you can't trust them, because they're going to automatically do what they feel is most important to them, as will you. You will do what's most important to you. I think the Values Workshop that John does and that I'm a facilitator of is probably one of the single best things I do, because it gives people clarity on what they truly value now, and then they can discern whether or not they want to change it. When trust is missing, we try to control life instead of it. If we don't trust our children, what are we doing? We're micromanaging, we're controlling. If we don't trust our spouse, we're trying to micromanage them as well. We're trying to control them. We want to know everything. We're going to check on, well, let me see your phone. You ever see all these people that want to see their partner's phone? The only reason they want to do that is they don't trust their partner. And I'm going to say this, and if they don't trust their partner, it's because they don't trust themselves. So where does trust begin? Inner trust begins within. And inner trust equals spiritual confidence. Your intuition is the whisper of spirit. It's that highest form of guidance that comes from the infinite. We ask a question and we sit there with openness, we will receive an answer, and it'll be different than what we know. Inner trust equals spiritual confidence. Self-trust grows from self-awareness. Self-trust grows from self-awareness. Are you aware that you are a point of infinite consciousness, connected to infinite consciousness, a part of infinite consciousness that cannot be separated from it? If you truly knew that, you would trust yourself, because you know all the power of the cosmos is resting right where you are. The other thing to remember, trust begins when you understand that life flows through you, not to you. When it flows to you, or you believe it flows to you, then you're a victim. But if you understand it flows through you, you realize you're the master of what comes in. And you're the master by how you create your mental atmosphere and where you keep your focus. A great affirmation here is, I trust myself because I trust the infinite power within me. See, if you knew you were one with the infinite, if you knew that, you would immediately trust yourself, because you would know that there's nothing against you, ever against you. So let's look at trust in relationships. And what I've come to understand is trust is the foundation of love. Love cannot exist without trust. How can you accept someone as they are if you can't trust them? Great question. Vulnerability is the doorway to connection. Are you vulnerable? You see, vulnerability, we think it's a weakness, when in reality, it's a willingness to be seen without defense. I'm seeing, you're looking at Lee. This is who Lee is, right here, right now. The way I'm talking, the message I'm giving, what I'm giving you is everything that's Lee. And I don't defend it. I give it. What you do with it, that's your business. Because I respect that you're an individualized expression of spirit, as am I. Therefore, you have all the power that you could ever need. You don't need Lee, as I don't need you. But it might be fun to be on a journey together. Trust is conscious. It's not blind faith. Trust is built on honesty, consistency, and authenticity. One of my things ever since I was a wee tot was Lee knew that Lee was different. And for the most part, Lee didn't give a flip what anyone else thought. Lee just behaved as Lee did. And he got a lot of criticism. A lot of people say, you need to fit in, especially in the corporate world. You're a little too rambunctious. You're thinking too far outside the box, even though I thought I was thinking way too much in the box. But you see, it's conscious. It's not blind faith. The question you got to ask yourself when you go through your day, are you honest? Are you honest about being the real you? Are you consistent in that honesty? And is that honesty and consistency, is it authentic? Is it really you? I always ask the question, am I trustworthy? Can I trust Lee is the question I look at. Because if I can't trust me, no one can, because I'll radiate that energy of a lack of trust in myself. I've also come to understand that trust is a mirror of integrity. In other words, be the person you wish others to be. My father taught me this. He said, your handshake is your word. It's your gospel. It's everything. What you tell someone, you follow up on, and you do everything you can to live to your word. I do that because that's how I want the people that I have in my life close to me doing the same thing. I want people who walk their talk and live their word. Therefore, I must do it first. Words and actions in alignment create safety. You see, so many times our words and our actions, they conflict. And it doesn't create safety. It creates chaos. It creates confusion. It creates an inner war. So we got to align all of our words and our actions in order to create that idea that we're safe. Here's one thing. Trustworthiness attracts trustworthy people. The law of attraction is always at work. Who you are is what you attract to you. So if you don't like the people you're attracting in your life, look at yourself in the mirror and realize what is it that you have to do to change to have that happen. Outer relationships reflect inner integrity. So your inner relationship with yourself, the consistency in which you are in integrity with yourself, your authenticity, your honesty, that forms the basis of your outer relationships. So one of the things I'm so proud of is that the relationships that I hold most dear, man, are they good. They're strong because they're in integrity. I wouldn't have it any other way. So one of the things we have to focus on in order to do this, to form trust, is we've got to transform fear into faith. You see, it's the bridge between the seen and the unseen. Most of the time in life, all growth happens in the unseen. It's not in the seen. And what happens? We're taught to fear the unseen, to fear the unknown, instead of having faith, knowing that life is always working for us. Why is it working for us? Because life is always giving us who we are. Life never goes against it. Who you are is what life gives you. If you don't like what you're getting, change who you are. Life will give that to you. Fear, when we look at it this way, says, what if it doesn't work? You know what I'm talking about there. Trust says, whatever happens, I grow. I know my wife dealing with a health challenge, looking at all of her options. She's asking the question, what if it doesn't work? Then she's saying, whatever happens, I'm growing. And I can see that growth. I can see that trust that she's building in herself, in her inner wisdom. I can see the trust she's building with me as a support vessel. I can see the trust she's building with her sons and with the people that are closest to her. So not about being in fear, it's being in growth and trust. Trust holds you steady when the outcomes are unclear. Doesn't mean you blindly accept things, but you've done enough that you can trust and understand and know. I think a great affirmation for this is, I trust the unfolding of my life. Everything is working for my highest good. My affirmation is, everything always works out for me. It's that simple. I do that affirmation every day. When I do my affirmations, I do 30 of them, and I do them each 23 times. Every day, everything always works out for me. And then I've actually expanded it. Everything always works out for Lee and for Jean. I brought my wife into that. So no matter what happens, I know that what's working out for her is the way life wants it to. Another thing about trust builds community. When there's trust, it's the glue of collective harmony. If you have a group of people and you can't trust each other, there's no harmony there. You see, teams, families, and communities thrive on trust. If it's not trustworthy, the team will fall apart. It's like in the military. If you're in like the Navy SEALs or an Army Ranger, whatever that is, the most important thing is that you trust your partners. You trust your teammates. Because without that trust, you will not function as a team. And that's one of the major considerations, that when you're selected to it, it's not whether you have the skill. They'll take someone with a bit lower skill, but who trusts and has the trust of their teammates. That's critical there. And you see, when you trust in community, it replaces control with cooperation. It replaces control with cooperation and collaboration. What a great way to live. Not trying to control things, but cooperating and collaborating with life and with others. That's the way to live. Leaders who trust awaken the greatness in others. I know this. There was a study done with teachers, and these teachers were given some of the most difficult students. One of the teachers started using words of praise, positive affirmations with their students that you're smart, that you can do this. I know how good you are and you can do this. Just keep going with that. The other group, they didn't do that with. The results were astronomically different. The group that was praised, who had trust in their teacher, the teacher who praised them, excelled. The group that did not excel. They were awful. So, we have many spiritual practices, meditation and all of that. But what about the spiritual practice of trust? Trust means surrendering into the flow, going with what life puts in front of you, accepting what is, and then moving forward. Trust says yes to the unknown because it's the only place to go. Trust transforms anxiety into peace. If you're anxious right now, it's because you don't trust yourself and you don't trust life will work out for you. The greatest thing you can do is start trusting yourself. Look back at your life. Instead of looking forward, look back at your life and see all the times that you trusted life and it worked out for you. Think about how everything in your life has always worked out for you because you're alive right here, right now. Everything always works out for you. You just don't see it that way. And then the spiritual practice is realize that life happens through you, not to you. In Science of Mind, we teach there is a power in me, working through me, working for me, that creates all that I choose. Notice that, a power in me, not outside me, in me, working through me. I'm the power through which it works, and it's working for me and gives me all that I choose. It's working for me because it's only going to give me what I choose, because my choice is my belief. So to affirm this, I trust life, I trust love, I trust myself. So let's look at how do you build trust from a daily perspective. First, cultivate a garden of trust. How do you do that? First, listen deeply to your inner guidance. We all have it, but we don't listen. Start today listening to your inner guidance. Speak truth with compassion. Don't hide from truth. You don't have to speak it if it's not necessary, but when you do speak, speak truth with compassion, with understanding. Keep your promises, and most importantly, keep your promises to yourself. The most important thing you build up is trust in you, because from there you can build trust out from there. Also then, see that there is divine order in all events. Nothing happens haphazard. Everything happens because it's a logical sequence of the law of cause and effect. It's divine order. And the divine is always growing, always becoming more. Living in the frequency of trust. How do you do that? Well, first, trust yourself. Trust that others are on their path. Trust life's unfolding, and it's going to. Trust the divine perfection in all things. Really, that's that simple. Just trust yourself. Trust that others are on their own path regardless of what it's showing. Trust that life will eternally be unfolding. And trust that there's a divine perfection in all things. Do you realize that everything that's happening today is a result of so many billions of years of things that have happened on this planet? Gazillions of things have all led up to this one moment. And the divine perfection is right now. Living in trust this week, notice, where do you withhold trust? And when you notice that, breathe into it. It's time to start noticing where don't you trust, and just breathe into it. Affirm, life supports me in every moment. What a great affirmation to understand and to believe that life supports me in every moment. Reflect every night on how you practice trust today. In other words, see how you're living in that trustful state because you've chosen to be trustful from now on. Express appreciation for someone you trust. Got a friend, Darren. Every time we end our phone call, man, it's so good. I just trust being with you is just an opening experience. We always are saying that. I do that with a lot of people. I tell my wife all the time I trust her. There's no one in the world other than myself that I trust more than my wife. Nobody. Why? We built that trust over a half a century. So I put some affirmations together for you. I choose to trust the process of life. I trust myself to listen deeply. I trust others to walk their path. I trust the divine to reveal the perfection in all things. Do you get that? Here's the big one. I trust others to walk their path, and I don't need to control it. What a sense of freedom that is. I trust my wife to walk her path. I trust my sons to walk their path. I trust my granddaughter to walk her path. I trust my best friends to walk their path. So that frees me to just walk my path and be free and to trust them as we journey together. You see, trust isn't something we seek. It's what we become when we remember that life is always on our side. It is always for us, working through us.